What is up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Trucking and Transportation, and as you can see, I'm sporting my Super Trucker headset right here. It's a must-have for any Super Trucker out there. As long as you're not wearing it to the store, to the bank, out to restaurants, and those different kind of things, I'm all about this thing. Anyway, I'm just joking about that. But listen, I do want to have a message to not just all prime trainers, but any trainer in the trucking industry as a whole, pretty much. Now, I've been hearing this off and on since I started at Prime, when I've been talking to people that were either in training or out of training or just got out of training. And the problem is, some of these damn trainers out here don't want to train. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And this is a video for anybody at Prime that's training that has said, I'm not teaching you how to back. You're not backing in my truck, or things like that. I don't know how many times I've heard people tell me that their trainer is not teaching them how to back. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you're going to be a trainer, be a trainer. A trainer is to teach the complete job, whether that's the driving, the paperwork, you know, the backing, just the whole deal. And some of you guys need to have some personalities. I mean, I've talked to like 2 people within the last week that said that their trainer's just sitting over there not saying a damn thing the whole time. As being a trainer, well, first of all, I said that part of my commitment was to pay it forward and to train at least one person. And I've kind of wavered back and forth between that. But listening to some of these stories, now, first of all, don't think that I think that I'm arrogant enough to be training anybody right now. I have the time in to do it, all that kind of stuff. But myself, I'd like to be over-prepared than under-prepared. So if I ever come to the point where I'm training or something like that, I'm going to have things even more tightened up than I do now. But I almost feel like it's my obligation to train at some point, just because of some of these stories I'm hearing. Is just, I mean, it's almost like I feel like I'm going to the pound and rescuing a puppy or something. I mean, this is ridiculous. I just don't understand it. I mean, I know that Prime has this little questionnaire thing they fill out and all this kind of stuff. And for those of you guys that are just watching this channel for the first time, I had an original trainer that I stayed on his truck for just under 2 weeks, and it was the most miserable experience probably in my life over the course of a 2-week period. And that trainer was paired with me based on this questionnaire. Now, the second trainer that I got, I spent voluntarily about 150,000 miles on his truck, and it was the best experience I could possibly have. And it's because my trainer didn't treat me like, for lack of a better word, shit. He treated me like a person, never called it his truck, always called it our truck, never really called me a student, always called me co-driver. Not always, I'd say, 80% of the time. And I just think that some of these trainers, listen, I don't know if it's all about the money. It may be all about the money, I'm not sure. But when you're taking no time to try to relate to your student, you're taking no time with actual training, and all it is about driving down the street forward, I got a problem with that. I got a real problem with that. And as much as I've been kind of wavering on the desire to train, it's stuff like that that would make me eventually become a trainer. Not because I would be doing it for the money. If anything, money would be secondarily. It's me getting over. Well, there's 2 reasons why I'm not totally committed to training. One is actually not being tired 100% of the time. And 2 is just the fear of putting my life in somebody else's hands. That's kind of the second reason. But I'm not sure. I mean, at some point, people are going to say I'm getting a little stupid with this video, but it's almost a helpless feeling when you're sitting here talking to somebody and they're telling you about their training experience and there's nothing that you can do about it. Now, if it was just one person, then I would look at that as a one-off. But I've been hearing this like multiple times, whether it's in my comment section of my videos, or it's when I go into the terminal and somebody pulls me aside, or it's just I've had, you know, phone conversations with some people that have been in training as well. And you know, I guess the third reason why I never thought about training was just because I just didn't know if I was that good to be training. Now, I think, you know, as far as truck driving goes and doing what I need to do, I think, you know, I think I'm doing a great job. I think I could pass forward a lot of different things. I don't think that I think there's so much stuff that there is to learn driving a truck that a lot of the stuff you're just going to have to learn through trial and error. But there are some basic standards that need to be met in training, and I'm just not sure that everybody is taking this stuff as serious as they should. You know, to me, if I was in charge of training, and, you know, somebody could take this as a shot or take it however they want to take it. If there's 100 people applying to be a trainer, of those 100, there should really only be about 40 or 50 that get picked out of that. It shouldn't be like a guaranteed thing where you request to be a trainer and all you got to do is pass this little course and then you can become a trainer. I mean, to me, the trainer's course is really kind of silly in itself. Knowing how to do something is you know, proving that you know how to back into these cones or do whatever they're teaching in this little training class. All that stuff doesn't matter if you're not able to translate that information over to the person that you're trying to train. And if you're more consumed about money, or you're more consumed with hell, I don't know, if you're the type of person that wants to have no personal relationship with the person that you're training, then I look at that as a problem. It cannot be a 100% sterile environment when you're trying to train. For those of you guys that are in training, I mean, if you're far enough in training, I would tend to say, you know, maybe suck it up, and then, you know, when you get out there, you know, I know there are people that came out of training that had a basic idea of backing but never really did any backing in TNT training. Just get off the truck. If you just started and you can tell that this isn't going to be something that you need to do, then my suggestion is get off this trainer's truck. And, you know, when these trainers come and talk to you guys and have their little trainer interview, you know what? Flip that shit around on them. Don't be having this where it's like, you know, they're the one making the decision to pick you and you're lucky if they pick you. That needs to be an interview that goes both ways. As a matter of fact, show some professionalism if you're the student and you interview them. Ask them relevant questions. Ask things that you think are important in this. How are you going to react to certain things? And then, you know, flip that script. And if things don't, you know, if this person, you know, sometimes you can just look at somebody's demeanor and tell, you know, I'm not sure if things are going to mix. Pass on that trainer. That trainer might be perfect for somebody else. So I don't really have a problem with the personality conflicts. I do think that that's important. So if you could tell there's going to be a conflict there, maybe look for a different trainer. While the personal conflict, you know, the personality of a trainer isn't as big of an issue, but the lack of training is definitely the issue, and the combination of both of those is just astounding. That I've been hearing this. I've been hearing this for over, I mean, I've been hearing this since I got to Prime with certain trainers, whether it was certain people that started YouTube channels and were talking about their training experience, all the way, you know, just like I said, talking to my terminals, through phone conversations or comment sections. This stuff needs to train. If you're a TNT trainer and somehow you stumbled on this video and you fall into this category, I know there's certain trainers out there that are doing a hell of a job. Twisted D, heard he's doing a good job. He has a YouTube channel. Check him out, Twisted D. So there's very good trainers out there, and if you happen to be watching this as a trainer and you're doing your job, do not take offense to this video. This video is meant specifically for people that are out there doing half-ass trainings, or, well, doing half-ass training. If you as a trainer have said, it's not, I actually heard somebody tell me their trainer said, it's not my job to teach you how to back. You should have learned that in PSD training. If you have said that as a trainer, you're a bad trainer. So anyway, before I keep rambling on with this, I just had to get this out, because this is, it actually pisses me off that this is even an issue, and it pisses me off that people have left Prime just because they happen to get maybe with a bad trainer. So I'm gonna say there's some bad trainers, and then I could say some of it is just bad matches. And the match, like I said, I don't have as big of a problem with the match. The bad trainers, I definitely have a problem with that. Anyway, thanks for stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. I'm out.